where more and more schools in the West are beginning to move away from the military industrial complexes of formal education, traditional Chinese schools continue to highlight form and accuracy. Teachers and parents often praise work which conforms to the highest standards of penmanship, pronunciation, and arithmetics. And this can hinder the needs of the modern student. It requires international teachers to navigate the norms and policies of traditional education in China while trying to lead students towards the development of self regulation, creativity, collaboration, and the almighty growth mindset. I work at a bilingual school in Hangzhou, China. Our students have half of their classes in Chinese amongst a more traditional setting, and half with an international teacher like me, where students' expectations are different. Let's look at homework requirements for the English side of my grade 3 class. Our focus is on multiple modes of work: written, composition, digital, voice recordings, reading comprehension, and accuracy based activities. A student will complete 25 weekly deliverables or pieces of work. It's a lot. We ask students to complete as many of these projects as they can, not for the sake of completion in of itself, let alone accuracy, but more to develop the right habits of daily practice and self-regulation. Self-regulation is an important skill for children to develop at this age. Kids with good self-regulation can pay attention to classroom activities and ignore distractions. They can carry out tasks and resist impulses much better. So this approach is very different to the work that students are used to completing on the Chinese side of their classes. It's most common for them to complete worksheets, one a day, for math and language arts each. This grade 2 Chinese language art worksheet sums up the difference between the modern and traditional approaches in Chinese bilingual schools. One sheet, 56 points, no stroke is left unaccounted for, and the expectation is adherence to strict standards of right and wrong. Basically, the sum of the parts equals the whole. Take a look at how this differs when the same student submits an English passage for grading. Our approach will be to use a rubric. For a passage out of 5 points like this one, we'll award full, half, or no points for 5 different indicators: grammar, spelling, structure, creativity, and purpose. Creative writing is considered as a whole, being greater than the sum of its parts. This is something which seems to conflict with traditional Chinese schooling and can sometimes create misunderstanding between parents, local teachers, and the international teachers. What we know is for a given piece of work, where spelling, grammar, and structure may have several different errors, it can be overwhelming for the second or foreign language learner to receive constant red on their work. With no feedback or follow-up instruction, this type of marking for 100% accuracy is not only inefficient, it can hinder a student developing belief in themselves and that growth mindset. We would tend to draw attention to one area of the passage for feedback, rather than marking all the mistakes or simply handing back a poor grade, which is the norm for how students are marked in Chinese language, arts, and math. So for example, for this passage, we might draw attention to the use of the third person present simple verbs and give feedback on this area only. We see feedback as being essential to students, so any work we check will have a short follow-up highlighting no more than 3 areas to focus on for improving. We spend a lot of time communicating this approach to parents and mitigating the differences of opinion the norms of more traditional Chinese marking schemes brings about. Students are more than the sum of their parts, and when they develop that growth mindset instead of a fixed one, it's from seeing their successes, not highlighting their inaccuracies, and it's from understanding the connection between good habits and understanding what's expected of them, and then the belief in the power of learning that they develop through this approach. So thanks very much for listening. It's an interesting topic, it's a big one, and I focused only on one area today. Feel free to connect with me on social media or via email. It's always a positive thing to share with other teachers and educators around the world. Have a great day.